This is exactly how I generated £10,456 in 6 days using Instagram. And before you say, no, I didn't do it by spamming DMs, running sales tactics, or even running ads. Now, the truth is that most fitness coaches are actually sitting on revenue that they don't even know is there for the taking. They're posting, they're messaging, they're engaging. They're actually missing a key piece of the mechanism that turns Instagram from just a social media platform into a client acquiring machine. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how I made £10,456 in 6 days by just using Instagram and some messaging. And by the way, I did it all without chasing, being sleazy, or having some stroke of luck. Now, if you've ever felt like you're posting, but you're not getting inbound leads, you're getting DMs, but no one's booking calls, or your conversations are dying out before the sale even happens, then you are missing the key piece that turns Instagram into a predictable revenue stream. Now, most coaches, they try and convince prospects to book a call, to buy their program. The highest earning coaches never convince, they just create demand. Now, when you apply this, prospects don't hesitate, they don't ghost, they don't give you objections, and they definitely don't need to think about it. And the best part is, it's not by using some new and crazy trending tactic. And the crazy part is, it's not even about putting more on your plate or giving you new tactics to try. It's just about fixing things that you're probably doing right now that just aren't serving you and aren't helping you get clients. Now, I'll actually stop teasing you and I'll give you the mistakes that coaches make when it comes to getting clients through Instagram. Now, most coaches, they unfortunately make these 3 mistakes. They tend to focus on having more conversations instead of having more engagement through the conversations they're already having. They focus on just putting more content up without even increasing their conversion rate first. And they focus on just sending more DMs instead of focusing on the structure that they have on the back end before they even send the message. But when you actually structure Instagram and you have the correct frameworks in place to get sales, every post, every story, every message, every conversation gets a prospect one step closer to investing. Now, there is a system behind this that makes sales effortless, and it basically gets the prospects to get themselves and lead themselves over the line. Now, when you actually learn and implement this system, Instagram goes from just being this social media platform that you feel like you have to post on, or this vanity-based platform where you focus on likes and comments and everything like that, to a platform that you use to repeatedly and predictably get paid in full, dream clients by following a simple framework and a simple process. Now, I actually break down this program step by step, all the way from the first message to the part where they pay in full inside my Sales Academy. And I will show you exactly, step by step, how you can take someone from being someone who engages with your content to being someone that's paying you for 3, 6, 9, 12 months up front for your service. But first of all, you need to understand the 3 biggest mistakes that you are making that is costing you probably well above £10,000 a month. Mistake number 1 is when you post without a sales process. And if you're looking at me and you're thinking, oh, I've already got a sales process, I have a script. You, my friend, are wrong. And you are very unaware of how fucked you are. Now, most average coaches think that all you have to do is post content, follow the script, post content, follow the script, post content, follow the script. You get the point. But the truth is that just posting content and trying to follow a script just creates noise. And if your posts do not directly correlate to calls on the calendar and cash in the bank, then you are just posting for the sake of creating noise. And that is simply using the wrong DM approach. Now, if you're just sat there and you're just waiting for people to message you, or you're going out there and you're trying to message people and you're following a script, and you get what I'm about to say, you're following all these BS tactics of generating leads that you've been given by a mentor, then you are not doing it correctly. If you're messaging people, you're being left on read, you're being left undelivered, you're being ghosted, or your conversations just aren't going anywhere, then you are taking the wrong approach. Now, most coaches, through no fault of their own, it's just the advice they've been given, are in one of 2 camps. They're either too passive, where the conversation is just willy-nilly, they're freeballing it, they have no idea how to move it towards a sale, or they're in camp number 2, which arguably is even worse, is when they are too pressy, too too pushy, too salesy, and the prospect just feels sick engaging in the conversation with them. Now, I've seen scripts for both sides, and honestly, if you're even remotely close to camp number 1 or camp number 2, you're not going to get any sales. Now, the highest earning coaches that I have seen and interacted with know how to guide a conversation from the first message to the call being booked in such a natural and seamless process where the prospect essentially wants to book themselves in. Now, structuring the DM process and getting prospects to book themselves in or want to book themselves in is possible. And when this does happen for you, you're going to find that you get left undelivered less, you get left on read less, you get less objections, and you book more calls. And that leads me nicely onto mistake number 3, which is arguably the most important, and it's not creating urgency through consequences when you have a conversation with a prospect. Now, if your prospects are stuck in the waiting room and they're not taking action right now, it's because they do not feel compelled to. And the reason that they do not feel compelled to is because they do not have a reason for urgency, or they do not have an imagination of what the consequences would potentially be if they were to stay in this exact point 6, 12, 9 months from right now. And if there isn't any urgency or consequences established, you are going to hear things like, I need to think about it, I'll get back to you, I'll start next month, I need to check my finances, I need to ask my partner, and all the typical smoke screens, all the typical objections that you normally get either before you book them in for a call or when you are at the point of trying to close them. Now, the difference that I have seen between coaches making 2 to 3K a month and coaches who make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month is their ability to turn passive interest into urgency and action. Now, creating urgency and creating consequences is a process that is a must-have if you want to actually develop in sales and if you actually want to get clients this month or even this year. And when you actually have that ability to create urgency and secondly, create consequences that create urgency, you are going to close people on the call instead of hearing, I need to think about it, I'll get back to you, oh, this sounds good, let me have a think about it. There's going to be a radical difference because of one small tweak that you've made to the setting and the closing process. Now, there's one mistake that's additional to every single mistake that I've been through that holds you back from making money through Instagram and ultimately getting clients through Instagram. And that is treating Instagram like a content platform and not a business finding, revenue generating platform for you to use to create clients. Now, unfortunately, most people, most business owners use Instagram to just post content, post stories, send a couple of messages, engage with people, and they're kind of just lost with everything. They don't know how to actually directly use Instagram to get sales calls booked in. They don't know how to conduct conversations. They don't know how to leverage their content. They don't know how to leverage their stories. And they are just stumbling through Instagram, guessing everything and leaving everything up to chance and leaving it up to chance that they can send 100 DMs to get 10 calls, to get 2 shows, to get 1 close. So you don't have to live like this. And the best thing is, it's actually easier to have the system, it's easier to have the framework, it's easier to have the knowledge than it is to sit there and blast yourself through 100 DMs a day. And this is exactly what I show people inside my academy. I show them that essentially you don't have to live a life of sending 100 DMs a day. You don't have to live a life of playing the numbers. You don't have to live a life of getting rejected. You don't have to live a life of killing yourself to overcome objections. You don't have to live a life ultimately of feeling that you have to play a character to get sales. You can sell naturally. You can send less messages and get more calls booked. You can get more paid in fulls. You can get less objections. But it's just the knowledge that you don't have that is not allowing you to get to the place where you can actually enjoy and thrive within your business instead of having this constant cycle of difficulty, of rejection, of objection, of burnout, and everything like that. Everything that you need to know is on the side of the decision that you're not making to improve yourself. That was passionate, and I really care about helping you. If you want my help, click the link down below. You can book in a call. I'm not going to tell you what the call is because I've told you about 50,000 times. It's not a pushy sales call. We'll have a chat. We'll see how I can help. If I can, I can. If I can't, that is completely fine with me. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.